Hello my YouTuber friends and welcome. I have another video to share with you. But before we get started, can I get a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel? Thank you and I hope you enjoy the video. At the end of the video you can check out how my friends and I are generating crypto commissions and stacking Bitcoin on a daily basis.
Let's take a look at Bitcoin just like we usually do. There is no reason for any big surprises here. And let's go into the 1 hour and take a look at this, this formation that we talked about in the last video. And so first I actually measured it from here because the thing is that the more we go sideways here in this channel and the bigger this bull flag is, then I think the more accurate it would be for us to measure this whole upwards movement, because I mean generally, I don't know exactly how the rule should be said, but generally I don't like seeing a bull flag being, let's say, like this. Now I'm exaggerating just to make a point, but like we get an uptrend and then we like the flag should not be this big in relation to the uptrend here, to the pole. I would love it to be more like this, a little bit shorter, and not the flag should not be too much of a percentage of the whole pole. And right now this uptrend, it looks a little bit too much of the whole pole, and if it just continues to go here, then the whole flag is going to be like a lot longer than the uptrend here. So that said, I would say that if we were to expect a continuation from this, in that case, bull flag, then I think that we should measure from this point right there. I think that's more accurate. And what happens in that case? Let's just pull this up here. In this case, we would be looking at a target of approximately $8,420. So that's our target if we are expecting this bull flag to break out. And the arguments for, let me just continue. Let me tell you that I still have a bearish bias. I think I've been bearish for a few days here. I think that we should be seeing a correction, like we talked about, possibly down to the 7,155 level. We actually came very close here, but I think that this was not the correction I'm looking for. I'm looking for a little bit more, possibly even down towards 7,000. But that said, the more we go sideways here, the more unlikely I think it is that we will see that correction, because like I talked about in yesterday's video, the more we go sideways, the more we are seeing kind of an invisible correction. Because if we go sideways, well, that means the RSIs are cooling down. Obviously, let's start off with a 1 day and just go in here, because we talked about how we went into the 70 level here, right in this uptrend, and found resistance here. Quite expected, because last time we were above 70 was over 6 months ago, back in the all-time high. So we found resistance here, and when we were up here, of course, what we want to see is this small little cool down for us to possibly make a second attempt here. And now we are going down in the RSI, but more importantly in the 4 hour, I think, when we went up here in this very bullish movement up, we went up 20% in just a matter of 3 days. And of course that is a extreme bull run for like a vertical straight up. And well, not that unsurprisingly, we see the 4 hourly RSI top out here at 90, 91 almost. That is extremely overbought. And from that point, we just can't continue to go up. We need a cool down. And well, what do we have here? We have this cool down because we've been going sideways. So can you now understand what I mean by an invisible correction? Because it doesn't look like we are correcting because we're going sideways, but in the RSI we can clearly see how the RSI is going down and giving us room for further upwards movements here. And so that is something that we should definitely keep in mind here. And if we go to the 1 hour, we can also see here that of course we were very overbought here, but ever since then we can see how the RSI even on the 1 hour time frame has been going down, and right now we are right in the middle here. So from the 1 hour RSI perspective and for the 4 hour RSI perspective, we are right now we actually have room to go up. We have a continued we can go up again. So that is something that is that's the reason why I talked about in the video yesterday and the one before, that if we go sideways, or the longer we go sideways, the more likely it is, I think, that we might see a continuation of this big spikes straight up here. And of course we've seen these two lines here creating this channel. They have held a lot of significance here. We can clearly see how the price has struggled to get through here. We have several points of contact on both of them, so we are definitely channeling here. And so there are a few indicators that could indicate that this truly is a bullish flag, and this would in turn indicate that we are supposed to go up, well, to continue this bull trend. But we need also to keep in mind here that we have this big resistance line, the resistance line that is the triple bottom here. And that is of course going to give us a lot of resistance. You can clearly see here that this triple bottom resistance line goes down here, which is the point of this here, and we are very close to it now. And you can see that we tried to get up here, form this little VIX here. I hope you can see it. This VIX up here got very close to that line, and well, we got down again, which was a little bit bearish. But at that point we were a lot higher in the 4 hourly RSI. Right now we're a bit lower, so if we made a second attempt, of course that would give us a higher chance of succeeding. But I still would like to see a correction, and after the correction we would see us kind of break out here, because I still do have a bearish bias. I still think that it's more likely that we see a correction than that we see this bull flag just shoot right out here. And there is one other resistance line that we need to take a look at, and that is this one. Do you remember how we followed this low here, and then this low that we had like this? You remember we talked a lot about this, how this could potentially be a support line to give us a nice little run up. Of course that was a failed rally, it never happened. We got right back down again into this despair period that we have been in ever since. So we've been in this despair period ever since we broke this very major support line, because at that point it was a major support line, both psychological, technical, and all of that. And look at where we found resistance right now. We found resistance at this exact line. You can see here it started out here. We found support here in that bottom, found support here, got this failed rally, got below, saw this big despair period, everyone just gave up. I've never seen so much negativity as when we've been down here. And right now we are trying to get above this line again. I would say that this is a very important line, and I think that people may have forgotten about this line ever since we've been down here, but it looks like right now it's obviously serving as resistance, just like it served as support before. And if you don't know, I think that the first rule in technical analysis is that previous supports becomes resistance, and previous resistance becomes support when the line is broken. So you can see here, when we broke this line down here, this line that was previously a support line now becomes a resistance line, and the more significant it was before, as significant it will be now. So it is going to be a very significant resistance line. And my gut feeling, just looking at this right now like this, I would say it's possible that we get rejected the first time we try to break out, get a small correction, and then maybe on the second or third attempt we might see us break out, because it's a major resistance line. But of course we do see more bullish things happen right now here than we've seen in a very long time. This bullish volume is really nice to see, and of course we were able to break straight through the 6.8k level, break through all resistance right here, just straight up very decisively. So I'm not saying it's impossible for us to break through here. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we should be a bit cautious here. And the fact that we don't only have that one, we also have this line here that we talked about. We have a resistance line here because we failed to break through here. And not only that, but we can also try to put in all of these resistance lines at the same point here. So alright, so right now this yellow line here is the line we just talked about, this new resistance line. And this line is just based of this here, we failed to break through here, and then we have a triple bottom line here. So all of these are resistance lines that are converging right now, and there are even more lines we could talk about, but these are probably the biggest ones. This gives us a very big resistance point here that might be too heavy for us to break out. And something that we can also do is actually bring out the simple moving averages, so the moving averages. And if you follow the orange line here, which is the 100 daily moving average, you can see that it is also converging perfectly into this sweet spot of resistance. And we can take a look at the these are the exponential moving averages, and we can see the 200 daily exponential moving average also coming in as resistance here, and the 100 daily as well. And I think that, I mean, I could go on here, but what I want to stress here is that we do have a very significant resistance point here. And I think that it would be, instead of us going up here and just shooting up here, which would require extraordinary amounts of bullish volume, I think it's a lot more easier for the bulls to see a little correction here, possibly down to 7K, or maybe not as far as to 7K, but a small correction, and kind of cheat here and take a more easier road, the path of least resistance. And at that point, when we have the bullish volume coming in thanks to the breakout here, I think it's a lot easier for the bulls to break through all of these resistance lines here. I'm sorry for these lines not looking too good, but I think TradingView is lagging a little bit right now, but you get the point, right? Alright, so I would say that the summary for this TA in Bitcoin would be that I think that objectively, I would say that the technicals here would tell us that we have a bullish flag, and we are supposed to go up to our target up here that we talked about of approximately 8.3K, 8.4K. That would be the technicals, not considering anything else. But looking at these resistance lines here, I need to have a bearish bias still. I would still say that a small correction would be justified here. But if I am wrong, and we do see the price just shoot straight through this bull flag and shoot straight through these resistance lines here, then Bitcoin is a lot more bullish than I would ever have thought before. So that would mean that I think that we should definitely take a look at well, Bitcoin possibly beginning a big bull run here. So I think that there is possibility for a very, very bullish scenario here if we break straight through the resistance, but I just think that that might be a little bit too much to ask for as of right now. So I guess there are three scenarios. Scenario one is that we break straight through the resistance. Bitcoin is more bullish than anyone could ever have thought. Scenario two would actually be that we try to break through. So we break through the bullish flag, go up towards these resistance lines, get rejected because of the resistance, and at that point we might see the correction. And the scenario three is that we just see the correction right away right now, and yeah. So I guess that's the three scenarios I'm looking out for right now. And I would say that scenario two might actually be maybe the more likely scenario, possibly. Alright, but I think that's going to be it for the Bitcoin technical analysis.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to see how we are stacking Bitcoin even in a bear market, generating crypto commissions, and using signals, seize the day. Click on the link in the description area below.